Hey guys, hope you're having a great Saturday. Everyone from the president down to state and local health officials want you to know two things about the new coronavirus today. Number one, the risk to Americans remains very, very low. And number two, this is a historic health challenge that's developing very rapidly. I know those two things seem to be opposite, but both can actually be true at the same time. And that's the message that we're getting. Now, there was a flurry of activity today because we have the first case of the new coronavirus leading to a death of an American on American soil. We had an American that died in Wuhan, China, and that's where the outbreak started. So that was an area of higher risk. What we know about the person that died on American soil is that he was a man in his 50s with some underlying health conditions that put him at a higher risk. We don't know exactly what those are. And we know that he hadn't traveled recently or come into contact with anyone who knowingly had the new coronavirus. Something to keep in mind, though, is that back in January, the very first case of the new coronavirus in America was a man who traveled from Wuhan back to Washington state. Now, health officials aren't making any connection to that case, but that's a fact I think we should keep in mind. And just an example for how quickly the story is developing, last night around 10:30 Central Time, the CDC sent out an email to the media saying that there were more presumptive cases of the new coronavirus, which means health departments, local health departments got a positive result, but the CDC hadn't confirmed that. And that was in the state of Washington, Oregon, and California. By midday today, we learned that one of those cases led to someone's death. So that's how fast this is moving. You should know more about the presumptive cases in Washington state as well. One is a woman in her 70s, one is a woman in her 40s. Both have something in common in that they both were in this long-term health facility in Washington state. And what it sounds like is this senior living facility. What's important is that there's 108 residents in this facility. 27 of them are exhibiting symptoms similar to the new coronavirus. There's 180 staff members, 25 of them already exhibiting symptoms similar to the new coronavirus. The CDC is heading there, and there's a likelihood that we're going to see more cases. Again, a little bit of a mystery as to where this all came from. This is one of the reasons why the governor in the state of Washington declared a state of emergency today, which doesn't mean anything practically if you live in the state of Washington or anything to anyone else in America. It just frees up resources for the governor to really prioritize this as a major issue inside his state. So that's important to keep in mind. There's no travel advisories or restrictions to Washington state, Oregon, or California. There are some new travel advisories to Italy and to South Korea that the United States announced today. So that's something else to know. In the meantime, what health officials continue to say is most people will be able to handle this new coronavirus just fine, sort of like having a bad cold or a flu. About 15% of the people may have more severe cases, especially if you're elderly or you have underlying health conditions. Just like influenza, this could impact you more. Just thinking a little bit about this story, I wanted to share this. This feels a little bit like chasing fireflies right now. Every once in a while, you're going to catch one, catch a fact, feel really good, like you have control over the story. Most of the time, it's going to feel like you're just chasing headlines. And so keep that in mind. Keep the questions coming. We're going to continue to investigate and get you answers and explain why it matters. In the meantime, guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you later on SmarterNews.com.